Hi guys, my name's Joe and this is Colin, and today we're going to be trying something a bit different.
Exactly, yeah, we've got a nice range of wine here, 3 reds, 3 whites, different countries, different grape varieties, different styles of wines as well.
So first up, Colin, we've got some Torrontés, which is indigenous to Argentina, and this is generally a really aromatic grape, so leaps out the glass, and just for me, really, I think it just smells of a nice English garden.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Lovely
Which is
English garden,
fantastic.
English meadow, yeah.
And just perfect summer wine, so nice and dry on the finish, sort of got that really tropical style to it in terms of the fruit.
Which is quite unusual, isn't it? Because when the nose of that is a very aromatic, sort of sweeter sort of style of nose, but it has actually got a nice dry finish to it.
I think Torrontés often can be a bit soapy, but this has got that acidity which gives it that zip, gives it the freshness.
A nice summer wine, beautiful.
I think I gave this to my wife the other day and she was over the moon.
Right, what's next?
I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are on Indian wine, Colin, but generally in the past they've produced quite a lot of shit over the years.
Yeah.
But this is something that's got some... I mean, they've really worked on it over the last few years, so every vintage has been getting better and better.
And what's this? It's
so this is Sauvignon Blanc from Nashik, which is near Mumbai.
Right.
And really high up, so about 1,000 metres above sea level. So therefore, it's because you can't make wine in really hot countries because it's 1,000 metres up. Keeps the grapes cool, lets them mature over a longer period of time. They actually make the whole vintage in the winter because the summer's too hot. And it just produces a style of Sauvignon which, guys, you're not going to be used to, but my word, does it work with the food, Colin.
It's particularly light.
It doesn't lack on flavour. I mean, it's got some punch, it's got some smoke, it's really herbaceous on the nose for me, and quite sort of green pepper, like some barbecue green peppers going on there. I just think
lovely unusual nose, isn't it, really?
It has, and I think generally, you know, if you're at home, you know, what do we all drink when we go out and eat Indian food? We drink Indian beer. I think this is the same. You know, you have an Indian food, let's keep it Indian.
Exactly, yeah, I agree. Let's have a twat.
So more of the smoke on the palate as well, not overwhelming.
No.
And then you get a lovely hit of pure fruit there, and just some lovely fresh acidity which finishes the palate off well. With Indian food, what's important, you've got that full-on flavour in your mouth. You need something that's really going to clean that out, just so that when you taste the food again, you're tasting it for the first time, and I think this will work well.
Yeah, it's going to cut through the spiciness and aromatics, really, isn't it? Yeah.
Brilliant. All right, Colin, let's move on. Next up, we've got some Godello, which is, I mean, it's from northern Spain, up in Albarino country, Galicia, which is Albarino. Obviously, everyone's talking about Albarino a lot at the moment, as you well know.
Such a popular grape variety, isn't it?
It's just getting a bit pricey. So I think the Godello, which is a grape that not many people have heard of. I mean, I hadn't heard of it this time last year, but it's something that's been introduced to me. And really, that aromatic Albarino style, lots of minerals, lots of soft fruits, and I think it's, you know, a really good summer wine.
So is that northwestern Spain?
It's up in the northwest, so really up on the Atlantic coast. So you think about up that sort of way, what they're eating, lots of seafood, lots of shellfish, lots of prawns. So if you're at home and you're having, you know, you're putting maybe some barbecued prawns or shellfish on the barbie, I think this would be a winner.
It's going to be ideal, isn't it? Yeah, a little bit of minerality in there.
Just like licking on a wet stone, Colin, I think. Just that little wet stone, you know, something a bit different. But that's what, when you get a wine that's really mineral, it is that sort of granity, flinty style. I think people that would like Chablis would like this. You know, if you like Chablis, 10 quid a bottle and upwards, you know, this is coming in on 10 quid, so I think it's a winner.
Yeah, it's very good. Yeah, as you say, with shellfish.
Brilliant, brilliant. I mean, I'm always eating clams every day, Colin. I don't know about you. Clams, prawns, mussels. I can't get enough of the stuff.
Not quite, but that's...
No, not quite, not really.
I can see where that would go well.
I mean, you know, that's good. Right.
Great.
Excellent.
So that's the whites.
But the reds, we've actually stuck with some pretty old world styles in terms of France, Spain, and the old sleeping giant that is Portugal. But they're wines you wouldn't normally be used to. No, so first up, we've got some wine from Navarra. So it's one of the most northerly winemaking regions of Spain. And these guys are trying to make mountain wine, sort of Mediterranean style clarets. So Spain's answer to Bordeaux. Yeah, I mean, the winery in general, the Tandem winery, they generally use Merlot and Cab. But instead of using Cab Franc, which they would in Bordeaux, they're using a lot of Tempranillo just to give that softness, that Spanish style softness. But with this wine, the reason I picked it is we're all so used to having big oaked Spanish wines.
Heavily oak Spanish wine.
I mean, I don't know about you, Colin, but it's nice to have something that's just really fresh and fruity and just easy to drink.
And of course, the Var as well. There's been a lot of investment in the Var, hasn't it, in the recent years to produce something which is.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really modern winery. It's actually a load of Japanese architects and architects from all over the world actually travel there to look at this winery. It's ultra modern, and a lovely, beautiful lady called Alicia makes this wine. And I always think when women make wine, there's that attention to detail, Colin, and that cleanliness around the winery. I'm not being sexist here, but very clean, these ladies.
Yep,
and I just think it goes down a storm. And with this
nice
wine,
label as well, isn't it?
it's called Ars in Vitro, an unusual name for a wine, but for them, you know, it means art. So this is art in a glass. It's a pure expression of Merlot and Tempranillo in a glass. So it's 85% Merlot, 50% Tempranillo. Really jam, you know, not too jammy, but you've got that beautiful combination of herbs and olives and red fruits, which is fantastic. Big fruit, but you don't get all that oak suppressing the fruit. You know, it's just nice and clean.
That's very nice, isn't it?
And I think for people that like Bordeaux but don't really, are a bit scared to know where to go or what to spend, I think this is a good alternative.
Typical style, isn't it? Of course, in terms of Bordeaux wine's going to be a lot more expensive than this, I would assume.
Brilliant.
So, what have we got next, Joe? Where are we going?
Well, we're going to go to Portugal, the sleeping giant of the wine industry.
They only keep the good wines to themselves.
That's what they say,
wasn't it?
The buggers. But anyway, for me, you know, it's the problem with a lot of Portuguese wine is there's no elegance and control. It can be a bit over the top. But they've got such good fruit there. There's too much of it. There's too much smoke. It's just a little bit overpowering. Well, this is big, but it's controlled, which hopefully we'll discover once we have a little.
And what's this? Local grape varieties?
Yeah. So I mean, with Portugal, I mean, you asked me to memorise the grape varieties, Colin. I'll have to give you a slap, so I haven't got a clue.
Exactly.
But it's like I think it's Touriga Nacional, Tinta Barraca, Tinta Chao, loads of different local stuff. So yeah, you know, really interesting grape varieties. Sound great, and let's just see.
Oh, lovely nose, yeah, great.
Yeah, so really nice and jammy on the nose, actually. And just really deep and complex, which for a wine at this price is great. You know, it's a sub 10 quid wine, and it's got some real complexity to it, which is what we're after.
Oh, that's very drinkable, isn't it? Lots to it, lots of different complex flavours and styles in that. Yeah, it's lovely. Very nice. And that's those grape varieties are your traditional port grape varieties, aren't they? This
is a blend of 5 different grapes, but I mean, for me, it's a really good all-round wine. It's got some nice firm tannins, so this would be maybe a wine that buy a few bottles, drink a couple now, lay a couple down for 6 months.
Exactly, yeah.
I think it would soften a bit more in 6 months' time as well. So this is wine that would develop. I mean, they do make wines that sort of live and breathe in the bottle and sort of would develop over a longer period of time.
That's very good.
So
yeah.
good.
Nice, nice.
These guys also do a Reserva, which if you really love this wine, it's quite expensive, but it's up there with. I'll put it up against a lot of the top Bordeaux. You know, it's absolutely amazing. Right. So really good.
Okay.
Excellent.
So where we are now, the old world.
We're going on to France. I mean, we've got some Côte de Ventoux here, which is interesting because Ventoux is a little known appellation in the southern Rhone. So generally Rhone, you know, you've got southern Rhone, all your Grenache style wines, northern Rhone, all your Shiraz and Syrah. So these guys are actually, this is for me, Credit Crunch Chateauneuf de Pape. This is coming in under 10 squids.
So it's half price.
Let's give it a whirl.
Half price Chateauneuf. And this is what? Syrah, Grenache?
Yeah, so it's predominantly Grenache. It's predominantly Grenache with a bit of Syrah and a bit of Carignan in there as well. But Carignan's one of the oldest grape varieties from down that way, and it's strange because up until a few years ago, you know, they were digging up loads of Carignan, when quite frankly it's producing some of the best characteristics in the south of France.
Great blended grape, isn't it, really?
Yeah. So really,
yeah, that's Chateauneuf.
It's all about palate structure because obviously there's no tannins there from the oak at all. It really just covers every crevice in the mouth, which I think is nice.
That's great,
lovely,
yeah.
and it even covers a little bit on your chin there, Colin, as well, which is beautiful. Yeah, keep it all, mate. Lovely. Well, look, guys, that's the case. You can buy it in a 6-pack or a 12-pack, or you know, if you just like the look of one of the wines, you can look at them individually on the site. I think they're all very different, really interesting, and if you want to express yourself and go out there and try some different stuff, give us a call. Cheers.